So team, welcome to the ISTQB foundation level and as well as advanced level orientation. So today and the next session, so basically these two sessions, we wanted to focus majorly on trying to give you a full picture of a full idea about what is this ISTQB is all about, what it actually stands for, where does it exist, and what is the idea behind the certification, both in terms of foundational level as well as in advanced level. Because so till now, and then you can find most of the organizations or trainings people will be helping on foundational level, but you will find very few on advanced level. And the prerequisite for an advanced level is that you have to have a foundational level certification. So that's one of the major and prerequisites. So that's the idea behind, even if you want to take an advanced level, you cannot directly appear unless you have a certification of foundational level. So the idea of this whole course that we are going to do is first cover the foundational level, and then we will get into the advanced level. So the agenda is very simple. We're going to look at what is ISTQB is all about, basically a quick introduction about that, and let me just do it. One second, yes. So we'll go into understand why it's important, how the ISTQB certification helps, what are the different certification levels that we have, like foundational level, advanced level, and there's one more level as well, which is expert level. Anyway, very few people provide training and very few people have achieved the certification. And then we'll go into the foundational level in detail, like what exactly this foundational level, how many questions will be there, how can we prepare for it, what is the syllabus for that, and then what are the different types of questions. Then we'll get into advanced level, same set of details. Again, how many questions, what is examination time, fee structure, where can I appear, all those things. And either in advanced level or in foundational level, you will find four different cognitive levels of questions. So which are typically like K1, K2, K3, K4 as per the ISTQB standards. So we'll just try to understand what are those K level stands for. And then I'll give you a complete idea on how can you appear for the exam. Basically, where does you can go for the exam center in your country, what is the fee structure, the upcoming dates, and the validity of the certification. So the good thing about the validity of the certification is it's lifelong valid. So that's one thing. Like for example, if you are appearing for any technical certification, let's say any HP UFT certification or maybe a Microsoft .NET certification, that's going to be valid as long as that version is available in the market. For example, if I have appeared for, let's say, HP UFT 14.5 version, as long as that 14.5 exists in the market, or let's say on an average 3 to 4 years, the certification is going to be valid. But whenever the new version comes, generally people expect that I will upgrade my skills and I'll go for the new version. But this is not something like that, because the concepts and the foundational level, which is introduced in 2002, even today it's pretty much the same, because the concepts are not majorly changed from a QA perspective. So your certification is lifelong valid. Same case with advanced level. But you might have a question, there are a lot of changes in the IT industry over a period of time. Yes, for that they have introduced different certifications like Agile certification, apart from foundational level. But the fundamentals never changed. The way we operate in terms of QA testing, that's not been changed. So that way the certification is definitely valid for lifelong. So before that, I have few questions, or basically, kind of just want to get some information from the team that who are attending here. So Ashna, can you help me with the poll that we generally do it? For some time I didn't do it. I have prepared few questions. If you can just help me. Karthik, are you
Sure,
there?
Shankar.
Yeah, yeah. I just need to
I'll
launch.
help.
Yeah, thanks.
Shankar, are you trying to launch the poll question?
Yeah, I just need to launch.
It will be in the go-to webinar on your system, not on the browser.
Oh, okay.
In GoToWebinar, there
Okay.
will be a poll section, please.
Yep. I got it. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. Got it. Okay. So just want to answer, get few information like, uh, just take this poll question and so that it'll give me an idea what is your background, like how many years of testing experience that you have, and then at the end of the day I will give a good amount of time for the Q&A so that we can fit into the right level and uh, where you can actually belongs to. So just launching this poll, so please take it up, try to participate each one of you, so this will help me in understanding where do you stand. So it's close to 85%, 83%. So team, all of you try to participate and help me where you stand. All right, let me close this. So this is kind of tells me 20% less than 2 years, 50% greater than 2 years, 20% I'm yet to start my career, and 10% I'm from a non-IT background. So basically, either you're trying to make an entry into the IT or you're trying to understand where does this certification helps. So either of the way, I think it's a clear segregation that 50% of you have less than 2 years of experience or no experience. 50% of the people have greater than 2 years of experience. Uh, Within the probably I'll discuss more on the people who have more than uh, 2 years of experience, that is a 50%. But the rest of the 50%, it's very clear that you will be actually taking up only the foundational level certification. The reason because that it's advanced level. Again, I'm just going to get all those details in a minute. But advanced level minimum would expect 6 to 7 years of experience. So the rest of the audience who have more than 2 years of experience typically can go for advanced, but again, you need a minimum of like 6 to 7 years of experience in the IT. But the rest of the people who do not have any experience or less than 2 years of experience, you will be actually eligible for foundation level certification. But as I said again, if somebody wants to go for an advanced, the minimum prerequisite is you have to have a foundation level certification to be completed first to go for advanced. Thanks with that data. Let me also look at one more poll question. So how do you know about this ISTQB? So this is a question that I'm going to launch, which is again going to help me where do you stand with respect to ISTQB. I don't have any assumptions that you already know anything about an ISTQB, but just to get a picture of where the audience stands. So again, please take up this question as well. All right, closing the poll in like 10 seconds, so just take it up if still anybody not responded. All right, just closing it. So it's not completely new. So 10% of the audience already certified CTFL. So I think it's a very clear prerequisite that you guys have already know before you come for an advanced. Yes, so 10% of the audience is already certified in CTFL. That's good. It's not something totally new, so that you already aware of what is an ISTQB, where to go and apply for exam and all that. That's good that you're majorly looking from an advanced level, and that's the idea of this course as well. But along with this, if somebody wants to, like we can see 65% of the people says have not appeared but started preparing. Uh, this, if you can also help me in the chart, preparing for what? Foundational level or advanced level? Just put it in the chart because I have not segregated that question. That helps a bit in understanding more.
Share the results once, please, on the screen, because
Sure.
we can't see till you share it. Thank you.
Is it visible now?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Cool. So 65% have not appeared but started preparing. So that question we can take it to one more level and understand preparing for foundational level or preparing for advanced level. If you can put me in the chart, that will help me understand more in detail. Then 25% very clearly saying absolutely no idea. So that's fine. So again, as I told you, I'm not going to assume that. Let's say if you are preparing for a foundational level, obviously it's going to be from the scratch, in a very, very basic level. We're going to start the training. And once you complete the foundational level, the history of our training, like I did the foundation level training in 2016. But before that, we had another trainer did it in 2015. The pass percentage so far, how do we know, is people generally send out emails after completing the training. It's almost 96%. So generally I get as soon as the people complete the exam, they will send out an email asking, like, or just basically saying thank you, hey, it was helpful, etc. So that way I can look at all the history of the data. It was pretty much 96% is what we have a pass percentage from the people who have attended the training and who have certified from a foundational level. Advanced, as we said, we are introducing it for the very first time, and I'm myself as an advanced test manager certified and currently working as a test manager after the certification. So I'm pretty much confident that we'll even make this the same successful as what we have foundational level. So the 65% people who said not appeared but started preparing, if you can just help me in the chart or in the question section, basically, whether it is CTFL or okay, I think people started putting it. So most of them are saying again CTFL, which is basically the foundational level. I'm more interested, yeah. Anyway, I'm interested either on the advanced side also. If anybody is there in advanced, definitely please put it in the chart, uh, because that will clearly segregate you. Want to do certification as a self-assessment, not sure how. Okay, that we're going to discuss, Anupama, definitely why certification is important and why we should do it. Just put it in the questions, Jignesh, if anybody is preparing for advanced. Exactly here only, where you're putting it, just put it here. Okay, Jignesh also CTFL, Maria CTFL. Okay, so most of you are saying you started preparing for the foundational level. Okay, so that's fine. But if anybody is an advanced, please definitely put in the chart. Uh, that'll help you. All right. I just want to take. Okay. One more question, just to know from an ITeLearn perspective, whether you're already any member of the training that's currently happening on the JPACT or CSTD. So from that perspective, just answer this question, or you're completely new to the ITeLearn. So this will help me also to kind of materialize the things that we have and help you with the trainings and videos that we have. Closing the poll team, but it's only 68%. See if you can just participate more. Closing it. Yeah, so as expected, it's pretty much 50%. So 50% are already members of the ITeLearn, but as you can see, 50% of is totally new, that you have heard that ISTQB training at ITeLearn and you wanted to take part of it. So that's a good mix. With all that info that I have, let's get into more details about the ISTQB, what it is all about, and where does this foundational and advanced level stands. So this is the official website for the ISTQB certification. Let me just hide this so that you can see the screen. Can you all see the screen? All right. So this is the main website, and you all know it stands for International Software Testing Qualification Board. So typically, if you look into their history, when it was started, and how long it's been exist in the market, and etc. Typically, in 1998, there was a ISEB, Information Systems Examination Board. It's basically there are different people came together and they thought, how certifications are very important from a QA perspective. So before even that, like, why do you think the certification helps? Like, somebody wanted to even understand that, right? So why do you all think certification is going to help? Just one another quick question. Put your thoughts on the chart, and then I can definitely talk about why we should take the certifications. But I just want to hear it from you before, because you have already started preparing. So why do you think the certifications are important? To step up in the career? Okay, definitely helps in definitely stepping up in your career. Any other thoughts? To stand out in the job market? Yes, exactly. That's another very valid point. All right. Any other points? But my only suggestion is, okay, we'll stand out. We'll have a good, yeah. So this is the point. As like please do not take it as, of course, that is the end benefit. By certifying it, you will be definitely stand out in the market. If like two people are attending, I go for a lot of hiring, and let's say if there are two people have a similar technical background and they have gone through all the competencies at the same level, let's say the initial entrance examination and three or four technical rounds, if both of them are cleared at the same level, and if I have to choose only one of them, then obviously I'll choose somebody who is certified versus non-certified. So that's a simple decision making point from a hiring point of view. But from a candidate who is actually appearing for the certification, I would like to look at it in a different way. Of course, the end result is that, but look at in the way that you're going to learn, the way that you're going to understand these concepts and how you're going to apply in your day-to-day life as part of the job. That is going to make a lot of difference, and that's the whole idea of why these certifications got into introduced. Because QA as itself, like, when it was introduced around 20 years back into the software industry, initially people were not really focusing on much. Like QA used to come, like if you have to just look at the software development life cycle. So typically you have the requirements phase, right? And you have a design phase, development phase, then used to come for a testing phase. And people used to introduce the QA only during the testing phase in the very beginning. And they used to perform the testing, the different types of testing techniques, certify the system, but that was not really helping much, and they realized they started giving a lot of importance to the QA. And initially they were introduced during the coding time so that they'll understand how the development was happening. And people started adding the value, and they have introduced during the design time itself so that you'll understand the high level design, low level design. And they realized no, QA needs to be there from the day one so that they'll understand the requirements well, and they can actually uh, helps a lot of times in clarifying, questioning the requirements. So now we are there in the day one onwards, along with the development team. You're placing a major role in doing that. While doing that, you need to definitely understand the whole software development process, how these techniques that you have learned can be applied. So look at it in that way, but the end result is definitely, as most of you said, you can step up in your career, you can stand apart from the other people who have not certified. Since there is a lot of competition in the market, as I told you, if two people are already on the same level, and if I have to just choose one, probably I'll simply go ahead with, because he would have learned it in a very effective way, all the concepts and everything, compared to a non-certified one. Now, this is a quick history when it comes to ISTQB. It was started in 2002 in Belgium, basically, and these were the four the board of directors. They've introduced first foundational level, and then in 2003 they came up with advanced level. So if you're just wondering how long this advanced level is available, so syllabus got introduced in 2003, and then in 2004 they came up with certified test advanced level concept. And today, if you just look into it, latest trends, and by 2015 it was reaching to 400,000 certificates worldwide. By the way, this certification is it's recognized worldwide, and it's most of the organizations. See, the benefit of this certification is again not just to the individual, it's to the company as well. So you can definitely see a lot of difference if all the people in the organization also goes for the certification. The way they work together, the way they collaborate together, the way they try to help each other, there's a lot of difference. So that's why companies are also encouraging the people to go and take the certification, and they are actually funding for their certification as well. So anybody here whose organization is kind of funding for you? Does anybody here whose organization is sending you to go and take the certification? There are a lot of organization does that uh, for the people who are working, and they basically reimburse it. All right. So anyway, it's a non-profit association. Just a lot of people came together and decided this is the best thing to do it. Founded in 2002, headquartered in Belgium, has its own constitution, rules and regulations. It's a lot of testing experts came together, and they are responsible for this whole ISTQB worldwide certification. So you can actually go through these videos a little later. I'm not going to play them to understand, but this is their vision basically, to continually improve and advance the software testing profession by defining and maintaining a body of knowledge which allows the testers to be certified based on the best practices that they're going to do, and connecting the international software testing community. So the ISTQB itself is a community now. Once you take the certification, you will be part of that community. You can start contributing if you are interested to take up into any of their training material, or maybe you can be part of the board of the team, etc. So Again, their mission is basically to promote the value of software testing as a professional into the individuals and organizations. As I told you, it helps both the individual and the organizational level when candidates are certified, when the employees are certified, and helping the testers to be more efficient and effective in their work through the certification of competences. Any other competency certification that you are aware of it? And if you have any questions around that, whether I should take this or that, I can help you. Do you aware of any other certifications apart from ISTQB for a testing point of view? Is anybody aware of any other certifications? CSTE, correct? Okay, HP is basically from the automation tool perspective. Again, Selenium, Java, those are all basically from a automation perspective. BBST testing is mainly from a security testing point of view, very specialized security testing point of view. But in general, these are the two. You have ISTQB and you have CSTE. And if you're just wondering which one I should take it up, the answer is very simple. I would suggest if you are at the entry level, again, less than 2 years of experience, or you wanted to enter into the career of an IT, or you have already started working but less than 2 years of experience, my straightforward suggestion and expectation is to go take the ISTQB. Uh, but once you get little more experience, once you really face through certain industry experience and different testing methodologies and techniques as part of your real work, then I would encourage to go and take CSTE. Okay, the beginning I would always, because this is more like a fundamental level, and if you prepare well and the concepts are clear without even a working experience. By the way, for taking it a foundational level, anybody can appear. Even if you do not have any experience, you can go and appear for it. So there's no experience as mandate. So there again, basically it will enable the testers to progress their career through code of ethics. So you'll learn a lot of code of ethics, because a lot of times what happens if you're not really gone through these professional way of learning, I've seen in many companies it's happening. uh, there's always a cold war happens between the development team and the testing team, thinking that, hey, what I found is an important bug, you should fix it. And the development team says, no, this is not a bug, I'm not going to fix it. So when you go, basically go through these certifications, you'll understand what are the basic ethics and how you should behave as a QA member. And of course, the bug is important, but in what way you should put it, how you should put it, so that the basic ethics are still lying with the employees that are working. And it is going to be a multi-level certification pathway that provides team with skills and the knowledge. So it's going to be an important, basically. So these are some of their missions, that why this certification is started. But it is valued across the world. Like this is ISTQB ecosystem, where the once you become a certified tester, you will also be part of the community, and you can contribute to any of your interests going forward. All right, so this is a quick intro about what is an ISTQB and where does they exist, right? And how ISTQB certification helps. So in general, also we understood why the certification is important, and when it comes to ISTQB, how it is going to help you. Let's look into the foundational level, advanced level, expert level. Expert anyway, not of an interest for us, but let's quickly look at. And if you wanted to see the reality on the facts and figures till now, it is like this: number of exams administrated is this number, 7,40,000. Number of certifications issued, uh, and the different board of directories, so etc. So basically, this number is something that what we are looking for majorly. So it's kind of not very easy, I would say, but if you prepare in the right way. So one good thing is we have at the end of every chapter that we're going to talk about, we have a mock test that we're going to conduct it. So you'll understand, before we get into the next chapter, we'll logically close the chapter and understand all the concepts related to it and apply them in the mock test. And again, at the end of the overall training, again, we will have some 2 to 3 grand mock tests. If you just take care of those 2 to 3 grand mock tests, obviously you will get certification. So that's the whole idea. Okay, let's look at foundational level a bit in detail, and then we'll get into the advanced level. Okay. So when it comes to the foundational level, here is a foundational level syllabus. I'll just try to download this. There's a better snapshot that I'm just trying to look for. This is like a very detailed question, and this is what the cognitive levels of questions. Anyway, I've just put it. Whether you are going for a foundational level or advanced level, there are 4 types of questions that will be appearing in the exam. So we call them as a K levels or cognitive levels. So standing like K1, K2, K3, K4, both in foundational and advanced. But the moment you go for expert level, there is again 2 more levels of questions will come, like K5 and K6 also. But for both foundational and advanced, these are the 4 levels. So typically what is going to happen in K1 is you're going to basically remember it as it is. There are a lot of testing glossary, testing terminology. Again, we have a standard PDF file for most of these words, most of these acronyms that are used in the world of QA. What does they stand for? Example, when I say test asset, or when I say test set, or when I say test bed, or test suite, or what is regression testing, or what is user acceptance testing, etc. So you're going to just remember those as it is, and when the question gives to you, you will recognize and recall from the discussion that we did, and you will answer it, the right question from the A, B, C, D, what is going to come to you. So there is nothing that you need to really apply anything, or you need to really go, do a deep dive onto the question or anything like that. It's a straightforward. You will try to remember based on the discussion that we did, and you try to answer it. In case of K2, you may need to understand the question bit, and you may need to give reasons why it is like that, and you may need to compare or classify or categorize it into one of these testing techniques. Sometimes you may need to give an example. So that is kind of K2 level. K3 is where you're going to apply a concept or a technique that we have discussed. It could be something related to a white box testing technique that we have discussed, or a black box testing technique that we have discussed, or it could be one of the black box testing technique, maybe something related to cyclomatic complexity, or maybe related to uh, the equivalence class partitioning. So you're going to apply the technique, and then you derive it an answer, which is basically K3 type of question. So you have to there are various techniques we're going to discuss. You're going to just apply them and get the output out of it. K4 requires a lot of analysis from your side. Again, don't worry on any of these. That's the whole purpose of the training. We're going to take each chapter in detail, understand in detail. So K4 is a little bit of more detailed analysis is required for your side to answer the question. So these are the K1 to K4 levels of questions that you will find it. So there's one more. Just let me go back here. Yeah, so this is a quick snippet of the whole certifications that are there in the ISTQB and what you can pick it up. So At the foundational level, this is what you have. The fundamental level, or to start with, you will actually go with the foundational level certification. Once you get the foundational level certification, then you can go into advanced level certification. In advanced level, we have three variants. One is technical test analyst, and test manager. I'll discuss the difference slightly in few minutes, but I'm kind of targeting in this training for advanced level test manager because when I looked at the before when I was appearing, I looked at the whole details. A lot of people who wants to go in the IC role and wanted to be an individual contributor for a long time, or at least not in the very soon. The best thing to be suggested is to go for a technical test analyst or a test analyst. But when I looked at the test analyst and test manager, there's not major difference in terms of the course content and the syllabus. So, and myself, I was like, anyway, looked at the overall industry, what people are generally appearing for it, and I myself, I thought like, sometime in the soon, maybe like 12 years down the line of your experience, you definitely wanted to get into a mixed management kind of management and a IC kind of a role. So this is generally what people are targets to take it up on the test management side. When it comes to once you have the foundational level, or even at the foundational level, can directly people go for uh, agile tester also. So instead of going for this classic foundational testing certification, you can even go for agile certification, agile tester certification. And then again in advanced level, with respect to the agile category, you have technical level and as well as organizational level. Then there is a specialist techniques basically. Of course, okay, after advanced in the core, you can even go to expert level, which is purely on the test management side and improving the test process. For example, a lot of times what happens once you get core experience of lead and management, etc., you may be given a charge to go and lead a center of excellence for the QA within the organization. And you may have to change a lot of processes and introduce a lot of tools and frameworks. So that's when the expert level is going to help. Okay. And there are a couple of other special techniques like performance tester, mobile application tester, gambling industry tester, automotive tester, usability tester, model-based tester, and then in advanced you have automation certification. It's not related to any tool, but if you are clear with all the automation fundamentals and the frameworks, then you can actually take it up automation test engineer. And then we have a separate security tested certification also at the advanced level. Now, when it comes to the core foundational level, just look at the syllabus, what is going to be there. Yeah, this is a good snapshot because the PDF that I was trying to download is very detailed. We need that from the day one when we actually start learning each of these topics. But for now, from an orientation perspective, this is good enough to understand what exactly the ISTQB foundation level is all about. So here we're going to learn fundamentals of testing to start with, like why testing is necessary, what is software testing is all about. There are 7 testing principles that we're going to talk about each in detail, and fundamental testing process, psychology of testing. Like that's where I told you this code of ethics and psychology of testing is very important. When you find a bug, how you should behave and what kind of information that you have to provide. So all that matters. Then we're going to talk about testing life cycle. What are the different software development models we have? To start with, again, even though it's not agile, we're going to definitely talk about agile here because that is one of the latest software development life cycle compared to the typical waterfall. So you will get to know the agile model, how it works and everything here, different levels of testing, different types of testing, to talk about black box, white box, gray box, their techniques, and there are, you can easily categorize into 35, 40 different testing techniques that are available in the market, like unit testing, functional testing, regression testing, performance, security. So we're going to talk about each one of them in detail and where does the maintenance testing comes into picture. Then we'll talk about different static testing techniques, like reviews, walkthroughs, inspections, how that's going to help, and the review process. If you're going to, let's say you have a deliverable to get it reviewed, maybe a test plan or a strategy that you prepare, and you wanted to get it reviewed by the other people. So what is the process that you should follow, and exactly who are all going to take active participation in that? So all that will be discussed in detail. And there are a lot of static analysis and tools. For example, when the developer writes the code, before even it comes to the tester, before even the unit testing also being performed by him, there are various static testing tools available in most of the integrated development environments, be it a Visual Studio or be it a Eclipse. So there are tools available which will scan through the code and tell him, hey, here you have declared a lot of variables, but you never use them, or here is a memory leakage that can happen, or here is a dead code which you never enter into it. So there are a lot of times the tools are going to help in finding out what are the problems with the code. So we'll look at some of those, not practically, but this is more like understanding those different tools. Then we'll talk about test design techniques, how you should actually be writing the test plan, test cases, how do you do black box testing test cases, white box testing test cases, experience-based techniques, and which one to choose for it. Then comes a bit of expertise level, like once you understand all these fundamentals, how you're going to lead and how you're going to, let's say after taking the certification, again, as you stand apart from the whole team who have 3 or 4 years of experience, and maybe your management asks you to lead a project totally on your own. So then you should definitely understand how you should do the test planning and how you should do an estimation, uh, what kind of a process that you're going to set up, what kind of configuration management tools that you should be familiarized, and how you do the risk analysis and come up with identifying those risks and what kind of mitigation plan you're going to do it. How do you deal with the different incidents that are going to happen during the project life cycle? uh, Maybe expected, not expected. So how do you deal with those incidents are going to be part of your test management. And then we'll talk about the various tools that are available in the market for software testing, again in terms of uh, automation, functional automation, performance automation, security automation, usability point of view, accessibility point of view. There are various tools available. Again, not into any of the tool practically, because this exam would not require any practical knowledge of a tool, but understanding of the different categories of the tools and how do you decide on a tool, basically what are the criteria that you are going to use it for deciding a tool. So all that we are going to learn in detail. So as I told you, it's more like learning in detail each topic and then appearing for a mock test at the end of this thing, so that we'll switch to the chapter 2 and again we'll complete the learning, and then we'll take a test and we'll go to chapter 3 again. After, at the end of all the chapters, we will have 2 to 3 grand mock tests, and I'll give you a lot of questions, like close to 500 600 set of questions. If you just do those questions, again, I already told you the history, it's around 96%. Even the other 4%, I don't know whether they have really taken up the exam seriously. If yes, then it will be very easy to go through. So this is on the foundational level. Let's look at advanced level. For example, if somebody wants to go for a technical test analyst, so this is, I'll just quickly glance through the course content. So this is more of risk-based testing, structure-based testing, and analytical techniques, quality characteristics for technical testing, how you actually do the reviews, and the testing tools and automation. One good thing is the foundational course and the training that I have done. So it's very detailed and vast. When you actually go through all that, then it's very easy for the rest of the things to understand. For example, static analysis, dynamic analysis, or maybe like reviews, how you should do it, right? The tools and automation, which is again the last topic even in the previous one. So, but we're going to go a little more in detail in advanced level. But all the foundations and the fundamental things are all clear from the foundational training. Okay, there's a question. Are these questions descriptive? No, it's all multiple. There's no descriptive. I'll show that as well, how many questions you will get. And just after the syllabus thing, I'm going to show. It's all multiple. And here is the test analyst syllabus. Again, more on the testing process, test management, test techniques, you know, the quality characteristics, what is meant by suitability testing, accuracy testing, accessibility testing, usability testing. Again, the reviews, how do you deal with the defect management, and what are the different testing tools that are available in the market. And if you just look at this test analyst and the test manager, this is a test manager one, which is again understanding the testing process in detail. How do you do the test planning, monitoring and control? How do you do test analysis and design, test implementation and execution, evaluating the exit and entry criteria and reporting it, and how do you do the closure for your test activities. Then comes to the test management. How do you do risk-based testing? How do you do documentation, uh, test estimation and test metrics, how we should do that, the business value, how you're going to bring in distributed outsource and in-source testing. So all this comes under management. Then we have the review category, why we should do review, what are the different metrics you should collect it for, what is formal, informal review, all that. Then we have improving the testing process, tools and automation. Again, introduction about how do you do a tool selection, because as a manager, as a senior member in the team, you are responsible for selection of the tool. So how you're going to select the tool, what is the tool life cycle, what are the different metrics that you will be collecting it. And then we'll talk about the individual skills that, as a manager, what you should have. So typically this is, and again, you're going to deal with a lot of stakeholders. As a test manager or a senior level in the test engineer, you're going to work with a development team, project management team, clients or customers, other QA team. So you need a lot of training and expertise on how you're going to communicate things, how you're going to motivate your team in spite of not having challenge work all the time. How do you motivate your team? So all that is going to be a very important. So then when it comes to the exam, I'll just show you exams questions and pass rate. Typically, these are the questions. These are the number of questions. It's all multiple choice questions, as I told you. And foundational level will have 40 questions. The duration is about 60 minutes. People, if you're going to write in a non-native language, so most of the people will write in English. But if you're going to write in your non-native language, then you have some extra time, basically 15 minutes of extra time. But I know generally most of the people will appear for English. The pass percentage is 65%, both in foundational level and advanced level. So in advanced level, the number of questions are going to be 65, not 40. And the duration is 1.5 hours. Basically, it's 180 minutes. And if you're a non-native and if you're appearing in a different language, you're going to get more grace period. So the pass percentage is 65%. So typically, and here is the pass rate globally as of December 2014. Right? Does that answer your question, Ragi? So it's all multiple, no negative marking, and 65% is what you should get. All right. So there are a lot of questions. I just want to answer them before we take up anything else. What is the duration of this course? In a way, it's not that I am recommending any number of sessions or anything. It's basically ISTQB recommends how many hours of learning that you should do. For an advanced level, you would need 2000 minutes, roughly, including all of them. So 2000 minutes, we're going to have a 90-minute session every day. So you can just divide it. So it comes around 20-21 sessions. And same case with the foundational level. So you need about 20-21 sessions. And of course, for a 3 to 4 sessions on the mock tests and exam, etc. So you can consider it to be like 25 sessions for foundational level and 25 sessions for advanced level. And then we will have Q&A sessions, mock tests, and all that. Will you be okay? Yes, I do recommend books, but more than that, I have the material that is really required for it. So I will be first, depending on that, because if you have to refer to many books and start reading out from them, then it will take a lot of time for you. So we have material. I would recommend to start with that first, and then just answer those 600, 700 questions that I'm going to submit. That should be more than enough. But again, that's more from an examination point of view. If you want to go more dive deep and get more details, I can definitely recommend books. Will you be also giving information about automation and security testing in advanced level? Again, Vinaya, it's pretty much what syllabus recommends. I will go with that because in general we can definitely talk about it. We have, if you're already part of our training, ITeLearn, you can go as in depth as you want in Selenium or UFT or any of these tools. But this course basically from an ISTQB point of view. It's all weekdays. What is a fees? Okay, fee structure for the exam. Very good point. It's around. I should be there somewhere. If you are from in India, it's around 5,000 rupees. Probably can divide it by 65, 67. You'll get it in dollars, US dollars. And if you're reappearing for any strong reason, I don't see a reason that why you generally go for a reappear, because I would expect if you really prepare well, you'll take it up in the first shot. Definitely the foundational level. Advanced level, I have equal confidence, but for some reason, let's say you left it in between and for some personal reason or office work or whatever, when you reappear, the fee structure is going to be half of what you paid first time. Okay. Any other questions? Is there any prerequisite for Agile Tester certification? Um, I just showed you, right? So let's just go back there. If you wanted to go into this core level, then this foundational level is important. But if you wanted to, yes, even for to become an Agile expert, foundational level is important. So once you have the foundational level, then you can go as Agile tester. I'm not getting your question, Vinaya. Even JPAC members have to pay for certification. The certification is different. It's totally different, right? Do you have a course for Scrum Master? Not immediately, but we will be definitely launching soon. No problem. Okay, so where to go for an exam? That's another important point. So if you look into here, ISTQB Worldwide, you can look at here, find an exam provider. Okay, it differs, it different from which country that you belongs to. For example, each country has its own website. So this is a main ISTQB website what we are in currently, but again every country has its own website. For example, if I have to appear for an exam in India, then there is a separate website called ITB. So when you open that, again you have this Indian Testing Board website. And this Indian Testing Board website will give me again to whom to contact. And for example, let's say you want to go for what are the certifications that this is offering. And if you go into this website, istqb.in, and let's say you want to go for the upcoming exam, then you'll go into foundation exam dates. Like that you have to do for each country that where you are. Okay. So this is how it generally comes. For example, if I wanted to go for a advanced exam, then here are the dates, upcoming dates in each of the cities in within the India. Almost every metropolitan city in each of the country has the center. Typically, they are like prometric centers is what we call them. So once you apply, once you decide on the dates that you wanted to go for it, prepare it, you need to go for those prometric online centers and appear for the exam. Does it answer your question, Rahman? So like that, you have to look in your country. So I wanted to take that poll question. Just let me take that. Probably I think that will help. So where are you from? Let me take this question. So this will also help me. Just answer this question where you're from. US, Australia. If your country name is not listed, just choose the other. Team, just take part of it so that this will help me again. Alright, I'm just closing the poll. Okay, so 80%, 81% are from US, 6% from India, 6% from Australia, New Zealand, 6% from UK, Europe. So 80% is from US. So obviously you will go here. Uh, you will go to the find exam provider and you will choose the obviously United States. This is a ASTQB is a website for them, astqb.org, and you will find out the dates from this particular website. You can register for a year. Slightly different, so you have to go and fill this form, then you'll get to see the dates available. Each website has it slightly different. So whereas the India one is straightforward where you can just go choose it, you have the dates, but here you have to just fill the form. You don't need to really, then you will have an option to choose the dates and everything. All right. So that's exactly from where, sorry, okay, I think you can see the website now. I went to the main website, I went to this and I selected find exam provider. From that I selected United States of America, then I got this website, astqb.org. And from here you can choose the center. Can you all see the website now? Okay. All right, so any other questions? Okay, so soon after this, we have one more orientation session day after tomorrow, right? So soon after that, you all will receive an email with the clear schedule, time. In case if you are new to ITeLearn, the fee structure and everything. So I would strongly encourage to join the orientation session 2 as well. That is day after tomorrow. where we're going to spend a little bit more details on this. People based in India can appear for US. I mean, where you're currently staying. If you're staying in US currently, you can definitely go and appear in US. It's not about the nativity. It's like where you are currently right now. Definitely, you don't need to come to India for that. So you can appear there. And this certification is like worldwide valid. So it's not just the UK or a Europe or a US. So you can you have seen the different countries in which, and everybody understand the level of it. All right. So any other questions? Always. Thanks, Vati. Yeah. Cool. So if there are no further questions, let's wind up the session for today, and then see you back day after tomorrow to get more questions, or basically to give you a little bit more information and the details about both foundational level and advanced. And then we will start with the sessions. All right. Yep. What is the fee structure from again? Which fee structure you're talking about? Exam fee structure, Rahman? It's around $800 US dollars. You can think about. Oh, you're talking about ITeLearn. Just please write an email to the learn@itelearn.com. They'll get back to you. I have not really an idea about the, the training fees. Please just write an email. You will receive it. All right, team. So see you on day after tomorrow. That's basically 15. Sorry, in US time we have it's like 14th. Thank you. Thanks everyone.